Hi, and welcome to my liri bot demonstration. In this assignment, we were required to create a bot via node.js that would act similarly to a SIRI bot where you can pass, oops, Siri's listening, where you can pass commands to it, and then it will give you an output. So we use several different APIs. The ones that we're using are Bandsintown, OMDB, and then Spotify in order to be able to get all of the information that we need. And then we're using a few different methods to manipulate the data that we get back. So up here, you guys can just see the basic code where I'm requesting a few of the methods that are built into the node.js, as well as like initializing some of my APIs and then giving them meanings so that I can use them later on instead of having them in my files, which will go into GitHub. So the first one that we're going to start is with just the app logic. We went through this in class, so it's nothing groundbreaking. I think Mark said it right when we're all probably going to have the same one. But basically, we're using a switching case instead of an if and else statement, and we're passing it the user input and the user query. We're defining user input as the command, which is going to be hard-coded, and the user is going to have to use a specific command in order for it to process right with the computer, but the user query is going to be their search parameters, and that can be a little more flexible. And you see where it's passed into the equation, and then we have our little breaks over here to make sure that we are not running that code into infinity. The next one that we're going to be using is going to be the concert this. I'll show you how concert this works, but basically we just go ahead and put in node liri.js, concert this, and then a band of our choice. I'm going to choose tennis because I'm a big fan of tennis. And bada-bop, here you go. You've got the artist, the venue, which is Longboat Hall, the location, which is the coordinates, the venue city, Toronto, Canada, and then the date and time. For the coordinates, unfortunately, that's what we can get from the object that is produced by Bandsintown. Since this is the MVP, we're going to be leaving the coordinates as is, but in a later iteration, I hope to be able to use the geocoder to change that out and reverse engineer it for an address. In the code itself, you can see that we are taking all the information, we are parsing it, we're putting it into an array, and then we're pulling the information from the array with these console logs and displaying it the way that we want to. In this next one, this is going to be Spotify this song, the function, and our command for this is going to be Spotify this. So I'm just going to go ahead and put in Spotify this, and you can see how it works. This song I've been listening to a bunch, her newest one. And there you go, Ariana Grande, song Thank You Next, Spotify link, and then also the album Thank You Next. The funny thing about this one, and this is really how I learned that the search query parameters could be flexible, is that originally I had searched for people watching. So People Watching is a song by this guy named Sen Morimoto. Mark, if you're watching, you should check him out. He's pretty dope. But when I did, I received this feedback, which is not what I wanted. And so then I was able to actually redo my search, and I just wanted to see if this worked, and it totally did. It gave me the song that I wanted to just by adding the keyword sen onto my search. So there you go, a little versatility for you. The next one is going to be the Movie This app. So just like everything else, let me go ahead and show you how this works. And that's not how it works, sorry, but now you can see what our default looks like. So there you go, silver lining. For movies, we're going to do Some Like It Hot because I'm old school. And in here, you can go ahead and see the title, the cast, the release year, the IMDb rating, the Rotten Tomatoes rating, the country, the language, and the plot. The little tricky part over here was going to be getting those ratings because they were nested. After putting this query out to a few of our teammates, in the class, it looked like everybody else was using an array in order to be able to get those information, or to get that information. So that's what we're doing right here. And then we are actually choosing the position in the array that we want when we're displaying it in our console, which was super convenient. And then finally, we've got the do this app. So the do this is, or not app, but rather function, is a little different than the other functions because you're not using an API key. You're using the read file in conjunction with this pre-done random text file that we were given in the assignment. So let me just open it to the side. We pre-populated this text, and we're going to be pulling it, and we're going to be taking the information from random text. We're going to be putting it into an array, and then we're going to be separating that using the data split by the commas, and then putting those different values, passing them into our user input and user query to set the command and the parameters for this. So you can see it's just like a different way to be able to do it. So you're not doing it from the command line, but rather from a pre-written text. So node liri.js, and then you're going to be do this. And there you go. So then you have it querying, I want it that way. And it's using the Spotify function. And it gives us Backstreet Boys song, I Want It That Way. That pretty much sums up the total of what the app does. If you have any questions, please let me know. All right, thanks so much for watching.